Guys, we have some negatives and we have some positives. Why don't we start with the negatives first? The first negative I want to talk about is that the character cards that you actually come with, you're supposed to check mark them off and stuff as you level up and whatnot. Now, you can easily sleeve these and check mark them off, but at the same time you can go to Paizo's website and you can order some character sheets that they'll send to you for free, and that's fine and dandy. Why didn't they just go ahead and include those inside this base set is beyond me. That way we could just already have, maybe just tear them off and we could just check mark them off of what character we are, and it wouldn't have been a big deal. But to have to actually order them through the mail just seems like a bit of a hassle. Just put them in the box, that way everybody can already have them. Everybody's going to want them anyways, right? Another negative that I feel like in the actual component-wise is the artwork. The artwork is very boring, it's very bland to look at, with the exception of a few cards. Some cards do look nice, but overall I think the artwork in this is very mediocre, if not below mediocre. You guys should have come up with something more original to really try to draw us into the adventure. Now let's talk about a couple of the positives though. The box is big and it's sturdy, and I tell you what, it is ready and built for the adventures that lie ahead. They did a fantastic job on the box itself. Not to mention the cardstock. The cardstock is so thick and durable that I see no reason to ever need to sleeve these cards unless you're a sleeving fanatic like some people I know.
One thing that I really enjoy about the components is that the cards are very easy to read. And, that's really huge for me when I'm playing a game, that you can easily see the number of the check and the different abilities on the card, or, circumstances of the card. And it's not all jumbled together, it's not too busy. I kind of wish the rule book was a little more explicit, a little easier for beginners. We've had some questions and some things we didn't quite catch on to by reading the rules, that we had to go on, Board Game Geek and Twitter and ask our friends, and typically we don't have that problem with games very often.
Now I can see how some people can view this game and just say, oh, all you're doing is flipping a card and performing an action. I get it, okay, I really do. What I want to do is try to explain to you why it's actually much more than that, okay? Certain locations, you always know what type of creatures, barriers, spells, allies, weapons, armors are in each one of them. You want to always put your character in a position where they're going to be the most successful, but locations always have negative effects that can sometimes trigger depending on what kind of card is flipped or whatnot. So you don't want to put your character that is going to be affected the most negatively in those situations where it's going to impact you the worst. The other thing is, depending on the type of scenarios, can impact the locations, which could also impact the character himself. And it all comes down to hand management of your cards. How much sacrifice are you willing to give to try to overcome this certain obstacle that's in front of you, whether it be a monster, whether it be trying to gain an ally, whether it be a barrier. Everything's going to be thrown at you, not to mention you're always on the clock. How much time do you want to waste? For instance, Marissa, she can always evade any encounter with the monster that she comes up against. But you're also wasting a blessing on the clock. Do you really want to do that? That's where it comes into, deciding and actually having real decisions to make, and it's not just simply, I flip a card and perform an action.
Another decision that we're going to have to make, we haven't come up to it yet, is that not only do we decide what cards we want in our deck, but we're going to decide what abilities our characters are going to have. With Maricel, I get to decide if I want to be an acrobat or a thief. And then as we accomplish certain goals, she's going to level up, and I'm going to be able to put check marks on certain abilities. And so I'm really looking forward to that. I hope I don't mess up.
Now, neither my wife nor I have any role-playing experience or history. We're tabletop gamers. And if you look at some of the games behind, I mean, you get kind of a taste of what games we play. And what I'm enjoying about Pathfinder is that I get to live out a role-play experience without actually having to role play. And what I mean by that is that I get to, each time I open up this box, continue a story with a character that I've built up in about 45 to 60 minutes, and I'm done. That works great for us because we're busy people. And I give it 2 thumbs up, and I highly recommend it for anybody that is looking for that style of experience.
I'm just really thrilled to have this game, because I gotta tell you, I've always wanted to try role play, but I don't have 3 hours to sit down and play a game. I love the fact that this game takes about 60 minutes to, get through a scenario, and I'm still building up my character and getting that role-playing experience.
Overall, a game always needs to award you for taking the time to learn it, to set it up, and most importantly, to play it. And I feel like Pathfinder has done just that. It's given us a unique enough experience that I can honestly say that I'm happy that I own this base set, and I will happily invest into future expansions. But this is my opinion. And I highly recommend that you don't just listen to opinions, but we've actually got a live play series that we did on the first scenario of Brigadoon. Go watch that live play series. You're going to see the game in its true colors, and you're going to be able to see if this is a game that is really going to work for you or not. Then from there you can decide. But until then, I'll have to talk to you later. Bye-bye.